Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Well guys, today I'm going to tell you how to overcome your greatest fear ever. If you are afraid of IELTS reading, if you are afraid of any person, if you are afraid of any situation, even if you are afraid of any animal, after watching this video, you can practice the way I did and you can overcome your fear. Once upon a time, I used to work as a home tutor. Home tutor is a teacher who goes from house to house to teach the children. So I used to teach a guy who was my Spanish language student, and he had very big dogs in his house. And I was afraid of dogs, like I was afraid of dogs to death even. And he had such big dogs and he had imported those dogs from some other country. Every time I went to his house, I was so scared that I used to ask his attendant, "Are the dogs tied?" And he used to say, "Sir, don't worry, the dogs are tied, you can just go." So I used to sit in his drawing room and I used to wait for my students. Then he would come and I would give him lessons and all that. One day I was sitting and waiting for him, and I was always afraid of dogs. Whenever I entered that house, I used to ask the same question, "Are the dogs tied?" and all that. So one day I was sitting and waiting for my students. Suddenly one of those dogs came to that room. Oh my God, I was so scared, I can't tell you. My legs were shivering, I was trembling and I was sweating. I called my student, I called his name, I called the name of the attendant, but of no avail. I mean, nothing happened. So before that, I had seen the master of that dog, my student, to talk to the dog in English. And the dog was very obedient. That student of mine used to say, "Magnum, sit down. Magnum, come here. Magnum, go there. Magnum, stop." And the dog would obey. So the same dog, Magnum, and we were confronting each other. And I was like crying, I mean very close to cry. And then suddenly I hit upon an idea. If I use the language the master of this dog used to use, then maybe I can overcome or I can control this dog. As the dog came closer, internally I was intimidated, I was totally scared, but still I mustered up my courage and I said, "Magnum." When I called the name of the dog was alert. The dog turned back at me and looked at me, and then again I gathered all my courage and I said, "Magnum, sit." My anger, my fear turned into anger. And then I said, "Magnum, sit." Believe you me, the dog sat down on the carpet in front of me. And I was like, "Huh? Really? This is the dog that scared me all through the time I came to teach this student. And it was just a sentence away to control the dog." Then what happened? I was more confident now. I was braver than before. Once again, I got all my courage and I said, "Magnum, go." And the dog had come from the swinging door of the kitchen. From the same door, the dog went away. See that? Our bigger fears are sometimes just a sentence away. Sometimes the biggest fear of your life is only an action away, and if you take that action, that fear will not be a fear, it will become an opportunity for you. So if you are afraid of IELTS reading, take IELTS reading dog from the ears and you got to control it. If you are afraid of IELTS speaking, come on, you need to behave the way I behaved, the way I reacted to the dog, and I controlled the biggest fear I ever had at that time. So you can do that as well. All the best, guys. I also teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, my WhatsApp number is given. You can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub truly wishes you all the best. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.